Well, good afternoon, folks. Thanks for being with me today. Take a little ride out here on this 20th of February 2025. We're going to be remembering something that happened out here, very terrible, on the 20th of February 2016, 9 years ago. Be right back. Well, on that day, back in 2016, a individual by the name of Jason Dalton, who was an Uber driver, set out on a mission over near Richland, Michigan, and pulled in an apartment complex, and there's a young lady, and she was there with her daughter, and there was other children right there. Her name was Tina Carruthers. And he pulled up, rolled the window down, spoke to her for a second, and she spoke back and just plain simple opened fire on her. And she shielded the children and her daughter. The kids weren't physically injured. She took several gunshots. I think she took 8 or 9 shots, and she survived. Dalton headed in towards Kalamazoo from there. He stopped at a local car dealership along Stadium Drive. Seen 2 individuals standing there looking at a vehicle. And he pulled up. And there stood Richard Smith and his son Tyler. They're looking at a vehicle. And Dalton shot them both to death. Tyler's girlfriend had hunkered down in the car, and Dalton didn't see her. And Dalton drove off. She jumped out and ran over there, and she didn't have her cell phone. She had to take the cell phone out of the pocket of her deceased boyfriend and make the 911 call. As this was unraveling, Dalton headed west-southwest to the car dealership, very close to the same route I'm taking right now. And he headed over to the Cracker Barrel restaurant. It's about 11 o'clock when he arrived there. There was a party of 4 proverbial little old ladies in their middle 60s to middle 70s, and one of the ladies' young friends wanted to go along that night, who was 14 years old. The ladies met at the Cracker Barrel, and they had their little dinner and everything, and then they left their vehicles parked there and headed out into one vehicle over to watch a performance at a local venue. Then afterwards came back there to the Cracker Barrel parking lot and to jump into their vehicles and take off. And as they were there doing that, Dalton pulled in and shot every one of them. Killed all 4 of those ladies and grievously wounded young Abigail. She survived. She survived. I'll be right back. This is the route that Dalton took, that I'm on now. He admitted to that, where he took Stadium down here to 9th. He left this murder scene out here, drove back into Kalamazoo, and actually the town was on a lockdown. The police had called all around and stay where you're at. There's a madman running around shooting people all over town. And he stopped to pick up some others that were at a location on the outskirt of Kalamazoo, heading downtown towards the Radisson, where I believe they were staying. And they even asked him, you know, man, you're not this dude they're looking for and all that. And he was just like moot about the whole thing. And when they got to a corner, they were feeling bad about the stuff. And as I read, they jumped out. And he took off and didn't go but about 4 blocks over onto Ransom Street. And the police had seen him. They were looking all around, and they picked him right. They stopped him and they caught him. He had the gun right there with him and everything. And then he went. Well, Dalton claimed that it was coming through his Uber app, that the devil or somebody was telling him to go around and do these things. And that's where he got the name, the Uber Killer. He was an Uber driver. He was driving around Uber that night, I guess. But that was, that's what happened with that. And so the judge had him sent over to the Center for Forensic Psychology, the CFP, over in Saline, Michigan. I think it's about a 30 or 40 day in-house. And well, it's intensive, and you can't pull the wool over anybody's eyes in there. And they says no, he's competent to stand trial. And so he had a talk with his attorney and decided, instead of putting the families through all the very gory photographs in the courtroom and the whole trial and everything else, he just plain up and came out and admitted guilt to the whole thing, every bit of it. There wasn't one thing that he tried to plead insanity to or anything else. He pled guilty to the whole thing. It didn't take Judge Lipsy too long to sentence Dalton. Of course, life in prison, no chance of parole. Here in the state of Michigan, we do not have the death penalty, and you can bet he would have got that. We just turned onto Cracker Barrel Drive. Cracker Barrel's been closed for a number of years. There were some health issues here, the facility, and they closed it. It's now for sale. I'll be right back. The gate is open. I'm not going to enter the property. There's a vehicle there by the back door. Like I say, it's been closed and for sale for a number of years. The murders took place right up here in the front part of the parking lot, right in the front of the building. The trees and the parking area and the curbing and everything is all still there. That's where he drove in here and really horrible murder. Be right back. Rest in peace, Mary Lou Nye, Mary Jo Nye, Judy Brown, Barbara Hawthorne. And thank God little Abigail Kopp, she survived, along with Tina Carruthers. Hero mother shielding her daughter and those kids from that monster. Right back. Said it before, I'll say it again. You know, I used to work here. When they opened the store, I helped set it up and then stayed. Became a lead trainer for the backups. Now, I stayed here about 1.5 years and then left. That was about 20 years before they had the trouble here and so forth. But see that entry right there? An awful lot of good people. An awful lot of good people came onto this property. But 9 years ago this evening, there was a hell of a devil. Right straight out of hell. Came right onto that property right there and plied his trade. That's all I can say about that. Rest in peace. I'll never forget it. Neither will a whole lot of others here. Right back. That same evening, my daughter and my grandson, who was 6.5 years old, lived right up here. They'd spent later evening down at the swimming pool. A lot of people did. They came up here pool was getting ready to close. Right here in this driveway, you see this red vehicle. They were sidewalk chalking, and they heard the gunfire. And I thought, what the heck? They went inside. Now, I said they were up at the swimming pool. They were playing at the playground up here at the swimming pool. We call it the swimming pool. Here comes the park. They're plowing. See the park plow right here. Cleaning this up a little bit. And you're up at the swimming pool. It's summer or winter. Right here's the little park. And so even my own family that night heard it. And then, like my daughter will say, it wasn't 15 minutes. And every blue and red light that was flashing in the county was up there. And that's when they knew that it must have been somebody had been shot, that it was gunfire. Yep. So, just want to bring that to you today. I was going to be coming out near here anyways, go about my business here now, and end this video. Again, rest in peace all those that were killed. 6 people grievously murdered that night, and 2 ladies, young lady and lady in her 30s, that were also grievously wounded. Dalton's away rest of his life. Again, rest in peace. My heart goes out to their families and close friends. I'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks again for watching.